little bit early today. I've got a virtual meeting at 10 and I've got to get everybody taken care of, so it's about 7:30. I don't think they quite know what to do. Come on. Where's Cece? Huh? Come on, honey. Oh, am I in the way? Go ahead. Come on, Cece. Come on. That's a girl. Come on, Cece. Nobody's awake this morning. Nobody's awake yet. Come on, baby. They're not quite awake today. Breakfast for you guys. Want some breakfast? All the big girls have some breakfast, and the babies, they're so grown up, aren't you guys? So grown up. Today is part 2 of our series that we've been doing, kind of introducing you guys to us and our story and how we ended up farming. Today, talk a little bit about life after college and what that looked like for us, and something that happened to us really early on that shaped us going forward. This one thing happened and it's really informed pretty much every decision that we've made since then. Alright girlies, what do you guys think? You've dumped your water over and pooped in it. Man, y'all are good at that. I gotta figure out a different way for you guys to have water. Maybe not. Maybe you guys just go live with Toonie. I think that's my plan, since I've got to separate her and Pork Chop. Pork Chop will go over with the boy goats, and that'll be fine. He won't mind that. I don't want her to be by herself. And she's never been without another pig. My hope was that she was pregnant, we'd separate her for farrowing, and then we would keep a piglet to keep with her. Good morning, kitties. Good morning. There she go. We'll get you guys some breakfast in a minute. Wow. Come on. Come on, Bernie. She's out here. Oh, what do you think about that? That's not a goat. Gonna hang out, wait for him? Okay. So where were we in our story? I graduated from undergrad, and I left and went to Auburn University to their school psychology program, and I was getting my specialist degree in school psychology. Jeremy, after he graduated, went and took a job with one of the top public accounting firms in the country, worked in a high-rise in the middle of downtown Little Rock. For context, for all you non-American friends, Little Rock, Arkansas and Auburn, Alabama are about 9 hours away from each other. And I kind of knew that going in, that I was gonna have to go to grad school, and that probably wherever that was not gonna be where Jeremy could get a job. We kind of hoped we might be a little bit closer, but at the last minute I had decided to change from a counseling emphasis in psychology to school psychology, and there aren't as many school psych programs, and I didn't apply to school psych programs until late, and so it ended up that Auburn was my best choice. When I got to Auburn, I was there for about a semester, and their program kind of fell apart. They only had 2 faculty, and one decided to go back to Florida and one retired. November, I had to make a decision about what I was going to do because I had no scholarships. It was expensive to go to Auburn because I was from out of state. Was I going to stay there and be able to finish, or did I need to try to change programs? Hi pretties, how are you out here? You've gone through the hot vent. I guess let's feed you and we'll let Princess out. So I decided that I would apply to a program closer to home. Well, to home, I say that, closer to Little Rock. And apply for a PhD program that would offer me a little bit more flexibility. At the PhD level, I could work in private practice. I could work just like a normal psychologist in the state of Arkansas. So I dropped out of the Auburn program, moved to Little Rock with Jeremy, and started that program in the fall. I'm skipping a step. In December, we got engaged and got married in June. I went home for a semester and lived with my parents and nannied the cutest 4-year-old twins ever in the whole world, who are now 15. Well, that part of the fence is hot. Good morning, Pickle Wiggles. Good morning. Toonie, did it get ya? So we got married in June, and I moved to Little Rock with him, and he was still working for the accounting firm, and I think we got home from our honeymoon and he got on a plane that afternoon, and I don't remember if it was like Seattle or Dallas or where he went, but was gone for a week, and that was kind of what we expected our life to be like. Pepper and the rock piles. Pepper, come on, buddy. about a month after we got married, so about the beginning of July. This is in 2008. In the middle of the Great Recession, he lost his job. He got laid off. They cut like 20% of their workforce. He'd only been there a year, so he was one of the ones that they cut. Straight out of college. He had worked for a year, in the middle of the Great Recession, and no income. Totally changed how we approached everything. We had always both been pretty good with our money and saved, but things were tight and it got a little extreme, and it's really informed every decision that we've made. It was that one thing that happened. He was out of work for about 2 months, took a pretty big pay cut, but managed to find a different job with a different public accounting firm, much smaller firm. And he traveled 3 weeks out of the month for 3 years. So he worked for this company for 3 years traveling and doing public accounting. I continued to work in grad school. My program was a 5-year program, so I had 4 years in school and then a year of internship. We lived in an apartment, and as grad school started to wrap up, he changed jobs and he went to work for Bank of the Ozarks. You may know them. They're now Bank OZK. Went to work in their accounting department and loved it. Loved working there. Wore a suit and tie every day. It was down the street from our apartment. He could walk there. We lived in West Little Rock. I loved the little community that we lived in. And we started kind of looking to buy a house at that point. All right, good morning, kitties. Is it your turn? Where are my other kittens? Oh, I see one over there. There's the other one. Okay. Clean up cat food cans. You guys some fresh water. Get the door fixed. Come on, breakfast. Yeah, breakfast. I just put you back in so that you could have breakfast. Why are you out here? Yeah, I don't know either. Started looking at buying or renting a house, moving out of the apartment life, just because it had gotten a little old having somebody live above you or underneath you, and we wanted a condo or a house with no yard, like a 0-lot townhouse. We didn't want any landscaping, no mowing. We did not want to have to take care of anything other than the house. And this makes sense if you think about kind of where we were. With Jeremy having traveled so much for work, he didn't travel with the bank, which was nice. I was in grad school and I was commuting, you know, an hour or more a day, because the school that I went to was not in Little Rock. Little Rock was not the place that we wanted to be, but we had kind of decided that it was an okay place to be. But having lost his job, we saved every penny that we could. We were the masters at living off grilled cheese and cereal and hot dogs, which when you're 25, you can do that. At 35, not so much. You ready for milk? Mom didn't give you any milk yesterday. Oh, no milk, perfect. Okay. We saved, and that was the most important thing to us, was that we would save and save and save, just in case Jeremy ever lost his job again and I was still in school, or my job wasn't enough to take care of us. And we're still that way. We're still live as cheaply as possible. We afford ourselves a few more luxuries now than we did then, but with 2 of us working. So that was basically how the first 4 years of our marriage went. It's really changed everything about how we handle things, how we save, how we bought this place, how we approach life. Money is a thing that I think we're always afraid that one of us will lose their job, or both of us, and we've worked really hard to be in a place where it would be okay, that we could make it. The farm, obviously, if something drastic happened, we'd have to make changes, but we've always tried to live in a way that made us independent of having to have that job, worst case scenario. Blue, is it hot, buddy? It's too hot already this morning, Mom. So some answers to some of the follow-up questions. I'm going to make sure that we hit all those today that you guys asked. I am a psychologist. I still work as a psychologist. I work as a school psychologist in the public schools here in Northwest Arkansas, and I work with kids with disabilities and other things that affect their education. So I do a lot of like IQ and achievement testing. The work sometimes is more stressful than it needs to be, but it's just part of it. But I do work full-time. I just work a school schedule, and that's why I've been home, because schools have been dismissed. Asked about, do we have kids? We don't have kids. We started out early in our marriage thinking that would be something that we would do. Given Jeremy lost his job and I was in graduate school, we decided that we couldn't have kids until I was done with school and working. 5 years in, we basically decided it's not something right now that we're gonna do. We haven't said no forever. We're pretty much at this point that having kids is just not what we're gonna do. I love that as the sun goes down, these guys, they always want to be up here during the day, but like when it's time to go to bed, they're all over here, all standing on the rocks, all ready to go. Well, it's really kind of early. Yeah, hi. Hi, Giraffe. Hi, Giraffe. How are ya? Miss Daisy. So another follow-up question that somebody asked was, why did I switch from art to psychology? I was gonna be a graphic design major and do like marketing, and I took my very first like drawing class, and you have to understand, like, I was that kid who did really well in school, made all A's, and then I went in and I started art school and I like made all B's in art classes because I wasn't as talented as some of the other kids that were in art, and it probably wasn't the best fit for me. So psychology was my second big interest, but when I got into psychology, I didn't realize that I would have to go to grad school, and so that was something that I kind of found out along the way. They're having an argument. What are you guys doing? Huh? Were you having a disagreement? Pork chop. Toonie's not doing anything to you. No. Yeah. She's not. Are we still butt sniffing today? Would you like some privacy? I just wanted to pet my Toonie pickle. And about pork chop. This big pig needs some scratches. So something else you guys asked was ideal job. I love my work. My job can be really stressful, but I love the work, and I love working with kids with disabilities. So kind of in my ideal job, I just maybe like the balance to shift more toward farming, homesteading more. I think like in one of those situations where you get to be like anything that you want to be, right? I think I would like to be a profiler for the FBI. I think that would be fun. I mean, and as much as that is fun, but I don't think I have the disposition for it. Decided he would help. He just gets excited. He's not trying to chase them or jump on them. He just thinks they're playing because they're running, and he just is excited. Wink, good one. So if you guys have any more follow-up questions that we can answer in the next video next Monday, leave those down in the comments for me and we'll add those to the next video and try to get those answered for you. And these guys are angry. Am I not feeding you fast enough? Okay, come on. Come on. I hope you guys liked this video, learning a little bit more about Jeremy and I and our story. If you like this video, make sure to give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell so that you know every time we put out a new video. Make sure you're subscribed so that you will see part 3 of this video next Monday, and you can hear all the rest of our story and how we came to live on this fabulous little farm. We appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for watching us, and we will see you in the next video.